And good morning, everybody. Can you believe it, Simon? We're up to episode 36 already. Can you believe that?
Fantastic, Tony. Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, 36, and we're still going strong. So I'd like to welcome everybody aboard. We're beaming across the sea. I'm from Tasmania, Simon's from Victoria, and we've got a wonderful show for you today. And before I do that, I'd love to introduce, first of all, Simon. Tell me, Simon, what do you do?
Thanks, Tony. For those that don't know me, my name is Simon Bowden and I'm an international marketing business coach with 25 years experience, which makes me a master coach. My mission is always to help my clients identify their aspirations and vision, strengths and blind spots, help them make informed decisions and take actions when needed to ultimately fast track them towards their personal goals. My coaching caters for executives and directors to entrepreneurs, small business owners and beyond. Whatever your situation, I'll help you build on your strengths and get clear on how to create a profitable future. As you know, Tony, I love what I do and I'm passionate about helping clients succeed. Over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Simon. And as my coach, I know how good you are. That's why I stick with you.
Thanks,
And what
Tony.
do I do? I call myself the Wellbeing Pathfinder. I love to help individuals, business owners, with customized retreats, workshops, consultations to maximize their feelings of vibrance, purpose, happiness, health, and success. And Simon, we've got a very wonderful guest today. Simon, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I met Shaun I'm going back probably at least 6, maybe 7, 8 months ago. And from that time, he was introduced to me as a personal trainer, but he's so much more than just a personal trainer. And that's what I'm really excited about today, Tony, in being able to get to know Shaun a little bit better, and he's going to give us some examples of what he does and how he does it and how he helps people. But before, I'd like to read Shaun's bio, if I may.
Yep.
Shaun Tucker is a top mindset and physical performance coach who has worked with high-level athletes, CEOs, directors, executives, and small business owners. Having studied health and sports science at university, his knowledge of the human systems goes afar. He has learned from mentors and teachers who have worked with 150 plus athletes at Olympic and international level, as well as people with chronic ailments of all sorts. Shaun combines exercise, nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, and stress management techniques to bring a holistic result-driven approach to help his clients succeed. And that's why I was just saying before, Tony, that's why I'm really interested in getting to know what Shaun does, because I think I fit in exactly that category. So I'm going to be listening with both ears today. So welcome, Shaun. We're pleased to have you on board.
Thank you so much, guys. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And Simon, the last 7 months of getting to know you a little bit more, I'm just super excited to be here. So I want to thank you and Tony for inviting me on. It's an awesome opportunity.
It's great to have you. And I'm going to kick off with the first question for you, Shaun.
Awesome.
What was it like growing up in a small country town as the middle child, in a family of 8?
That's a good one. So yeah, I'm a family of 8. So there's basically 6 kids in our family. We've got the same mum and dad, so there's no stepsisters or stepbrothers or anything like that. And growing up as a middle child, I'm sure a lot of people understand being the middle child. You just sort of, I don't know, you sort of get a little bit forgotten in some ways. And I guess the attention, because you're sort of raised by your brothers. I've got 4 brothers and 1 sister, so we're mostly boys and one girl. And I guess growing up, we grew up in a small country town, but what we did is we always teamed together and played together as kids, and we lived across the road from these mullah keeps. And if anyone knows what mullikeeps are, they're basically old mines and then little hills of rocks. And we used to get, our dad taught us this, was, you know, those Oki straps, like the luggage straps?
Yes.
Get a piece of tin, which was, you know, there was a lot of old tin that was left over there. You bend the tin up and you connect the Oki strap to the front and to the back, and you go up the hill and you just slide down that tin as fast as you can. And it was so much fun. Like,
how many injuries did you get though, Shaun?
None, zero. Thank God. However, when I was 3 years old, I actually fell off a sprung rocking horse. This was 30 minutes from Ballarat. So I grew up in a town called Clunes, and I partially severed my tongue. And I had 22 stitches across my tongue when I was 3. But that was probably the major accident that I had when I was young. But yeah, to get back to the story of going down the hills, I mean, it was just so much fun growing up with so many kids around, because we all just used to play with one another, go bike riding around the town and just do lots of different things. And I don't know, moving to Melbourne later down the track to go to university and things, I don't know, you sort of get a little bit lost. And I guess that's why I'm excited to be here as well, is, you know, finding purpose, like you guys were saying earlier, is, I don't think you find purpose. I think purpose almost finds you in a way. So, yeah.
Tell me, before we go on to the next question, what's all the kids' names?
So we've got my oldest brother, Luke. Then we've got Paul. So these are all from the Bible too, which we're not super like religious, or my mum and dad were both born Catholics, but we're not religious as children, but they're all from the Bible. So there's Luke, Paul, Matthew, Shaun. So I'm number 4. Angela is my younger sister. And then there's Sam, my younger brother. So yeah, that's all the brothers and sisters' names.
Fantastic.
From the story you've just been telling us, it seems as though you've been very active. And as a child, what sort of sports did you play?
Yeah, so I was fortunate. My dad was actually our tennis coach when I was younger. So I played tennis. We all sort of played tennis and basketball. Because I'm 6'1". As I was growing up, I was pretty tall, and loved basketball. When we hit high school, though, we actually moved further away and into the middle of the bush, and really took away from, I guess, playing in sports and things. And this is where I sort of fell off and really became quite lost. And I was on the computer games and playing computers and all that sort of thing. And in all honesty, I stopped sport. So yeah, I started with tennis and basketball, but then I haven't always been healthy. Let's just say that. It's it's interesting.
So what did you learn from playing sport?
I think cooperating was probably the biggest thing that I learned playing sport, and also just being confident that I was actually I don't know if this is true. If I just thought I was a good tennis player, I do have a lot of trophies from when I was playing tennis, so I kind of use that as like a validity to express that I was actually a semi-decent tennis player. And if I pick up a racket now and I have the meanest serve you could ever see, the only problem is it's very inaccurate because I haven't practiced in such a long time. But I think the biggest thing.
Who was your tennis idol growing up?
What was that? Sorry, Simon, I just missed that.
Who was your tennis idol growing up?
I think it was Leighton Hewitt. You know that? Come on! And it's funny because I was in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And thank you is come on. And we were all like, come on. That was a lot of fun.
So what were some of the struggles that you had going through school, Shaun?
Look, I've always sort of lacked confidence in myself, and I guess had a bit of low self-esteem. So when I was in primary school, I always felt like I was a little bit overweight. And there was this one kid who he was probably, I don't know, he had his own family issues going on, but he had 2 buck teeth at the front. And if I did that, it was kind of looked like that. And for some reason, this kid called me fat one day. And that sort of just sat in my system for such a long time. I think I forever always called myself fat and thought I was fat and overweight. And it actually had a really negative effect over the course of not only primary school, because this was sort of like grade 4, but all the way through high school as well. It
Wow.
sort of sat there, and it just sort of became something that I identified as, even though it wasn't necessarily true, because I wasn't like picked on as such through high school and things like that. But I was just lacking these qualities of what I have now, and that's confidence, self-esteem, and kind of things.
Yeah. So were you actually overweight, or was it just your mindset thinking that?
A little bit of both. So if I showed you my photos, you'd see that I was clearly overweight. Like I was 110 kilos at my heaviest.
Wow.
And I was not, I wasn't active at all. I certainly had, I was just fat. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, I was fat, I was overweight, and I was just slightly depressed, in all honesty.
Yeah. How long ago was it?
Sorry, go.
So this was 12 years ago.
Okay.
And that's sort of when I found myself in this health and fitness space through my own journey of understanding that I was quite lost. I had these challenges, these health challenges, where I was borderline depressed. I was feeling sorry for myself. I was eating bars of chocolate. I was drinking lots of soft drink. I was doing all the things that, we advise, if you're going to do it in moderation. But I wasn't about moderation. I was, drinking alcohol, smashing a lot of alcohol, doing these things that weren't helping me.
So, Shaun, what was the trigger that turned it all around? Was there one trigger that actually you saw that I've got to change, otherwise it could be too late? Was there a trigger like that?
There was, yeah. I was overseas. I was in South Korea. I was there with my brother and my mate, and we were drinking. We stayed there for like 3 or 4 nights. We went clubbing basically every single night. And the last night we met this other Aussie guy, went to the club, started drinking, started having a good time. And I remember maybe 1/3 of the night, apparently we got through the entire cocktail list, and I was completely blacked out. And I woke up the next morning, just blood was coming out of my nose. Like there was blood like on my arm and things like that. And I'd never felt so sick and so bad in all my life that right there, I decided that I needed to change. So that was the trigger.
Now, Shaun, do you want to let your dog out? Just take a break for a sec.
Of course. I'll let you out, mate.
You've got to make sure the dog's happy, right? It's been a compassionate master, right?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's fun, right? We know now that it's live, right? It's not pre-recorded, right? That's good. Now, that's a really interesting trigger. And so, what did you actually do straight after that?
Well, in all honesty, it took me 5 days to a week to recover from this. I couldn't stomach food. I just felt so sick. And from that point, I never really wanted to feel like that ever again. So what I did, when I got back to Australia, I made that conscious decision that I didn't want to feel like that ever again. So I started becoming aware of what I was putting into my body. I started moderating how much I was actually eating. And the other thing I did was I started running. And like most people do when they start their health and fitness journey, they think they need to start running. And what I realized quickly after a couple of months of doing this and losing maybe 10 kilos was it wasn't sustainable for what I was trying to do as a long-term shuffle towards the goal and the healthy lifestyle that I wanted to create for myself.
So how did you find yourself, Shaun, in the health and fitness industry?
So this actually came from a really interesting marketing spiel on YouTube, and this was the Chinese secret to getting a six-pack abs. And I was so intrigued. I clicked it. Of course, I clicked it.
Can you send me that link?
It was like Chinese secret to six-pack abs revealed, and I clicked it and I purchased the program, and it was gym based. So when I was younger in high school, I enjoyed going to the gym, and I was always intrigued by why people went to the gym. And then I found this, and I was like, all right, cool, let's commit to this. And there was some goals and stuff that I set and started it, and basically started getting pretty cool results. What I quickly realized, the gym was actually a place for self-development. And from there, basically, I was excited because I never felt a place like that. It became almost like a temple where I was going there not every single day, because I wasn't obsessed to that level, but I was going there a few days a week and just enjoying the process of getting better. And so what I did when I discovered that I didn't want to study the courses that I was studying in university, I was doing maths at Monash, and then I transferred to, what was it, international politics or something in Deakin. For whatever reason, I decided, no, it's my turn to actually start creating and not living in the shoes of my brothers that were older than me. It was time to actually go and do things that I actually wanted to do. And so I went and studied my PT course. And from there, I was just inspired and continued my studies at university. And that's sort of how I got to where I am today. So, yeah.
And there must have been, and Shaun, there must have been a trigger too, because you started to help other people. So what was that trigger?
I was always a little bit, when I was going to the gym, I always wanted to sort of bring my friends and my brothers to the gym, and I was always dragging them along with me, because I was like, this place is awesome. Like these guys are missing out, and I wanted to share that. And I think because family is so important to me, and it's sort of what brings me a lot of happiness and fulfillment, sharing that experience was, I guess, something that drove me towards that. And I'm only actually realizing that right now. So that question, Tony, was really, really great. It's because I want to share it, and because I know that it's so good in not just the surface level that people see. It's not just, pumping up and feeling good, but it's actually being able to put a tangible effort in and then seeing the result, not tomorrow, not next week, but in a few months from today, if you put that solid effort in. And that same principle can be applied to business, right?
Yeah, totally. So, number one, with your clients today, do you get results for everybody?
Fundamentally, yes, except up until probably 2 years ago, no. So COVID and lockdowns were an absolute blessing in disguise for me, because it allowed me to realize why these people weren't getting results. Because it wasn't what we were doing in the gym. It wasn't the mindset stuff that we were doing, consciously talking about it. Because these people wanted to change, but there was something that was not quite right in their human system that we needed to support first in order for them to actually start dropping weight. And that came through one of my mentors and learning from him, because he's worked with 150 plus Olympic level athletes and now just works with disease-ridden people. And understanding that, you need to support your liver and your adrenal system through nutrition and food, because food is medicine, to then open that up so that you can actually allow the body to detox the way it was supposed to detox, recover, basically.
Wow.
Well, can
Go, Tony.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about what your mentors meant to you, and your teachers. What sort of nuggets of gold did they give you?
So I've had a number of mentors across the last few years. And in all honesty, the ones that I've paid a lot of money for, those are the ones that sort of gave me more towards being equipped at dealing with business, which sort of makes sense. Like there's things about valuing yourself and, charging yourself out and going through the sales process and understanding all that businessy side of things. But then there's also like the side where if you become a better, I guess, practitioner, aka like, let's just say a builder, you know how to use your tools properly and know how to basically create what you've envisioned because you're putting that work in every single day, but knowing that it's going to have a carryover effect to building that house or whatever it is, being equipped with the fundamental tools and learning at a deeper level on how to actually apply those tools, then that's sort of, I guess, just made my confidence go up so much more because I'm so much better at helping people and more equipped to helping people now than I was even 2 years ago. So yeah, I think having mentors and things like that, they're fantastic. I think the biggest thing you have to realize when you are looking around for a mentor or a teacher or something like that is you have to know with an intent what you sort of want to get out of that relationship, because you get out of life what you ask.
Absolutely. So, Shaun, can I take you back to the COVID lockdowns? And you mentioned before that it was a really good learning curve for you, perhaps being in lockdown, to perhaps analyse why some of those clients weren't getting the results that you mentioned before. Can you share with us an example of perhaps a client that didn't get what they were looking for, but how you perhaps turned them around?
For sure. So this guy, I think he was 27. He was a young guy. He needed to lose probably 20 to 30 kilos. We got 4 kilos off him in 18 months, and that was it. What I realized after working with him, so unfortunately, like I've sort of lost tracks with him at the moment, but after working with him, I realized that it wasn't what we were doing because he was following the structured plan. He was carrying out the exercise. He was getting a little bit better in the gym, getting stronger. But what I realized was his liver wasn't probably functioning to the level that it should have been because he had actually these symptoms, which I wasn't really aware of until I then put my hat on of looking back and realizing that this guy's skin, for example, he used to get a bit of like rashes and things like that over his skin. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. But what I realize now is it's probably related to his liver and his liver functioning. Because if the liver can't handle the body actually removing the fat as a toxin, then there's no way that it can actually do that because it's not supported enough to be able to do that. Because if it's functioning at, say, 10% of its capability, where it should be running at 100%, then there's no way it's going to take on that stress to remove the excess body fat, because fat's a toxin.
Wow.
And so I hope that sort of answers. But yeah, I guess being equipped now, like I do some things with food to, simple stuff. So not giving him, drugs and supplements and all that kind of stuff. Like some supplements are really great. But in all honesty, if you can just do it through food with organic ingredients and a bit of good salt and things like that, these are the things that are actually going to heal people.
Yeah.
Okay. So as things stand at the moment, what other things do you do to help people?
So that's a good question. I guess the level at which I can help someone now, it's truly holistic. So I'm actually studying massage as well. So manual therapy is something that I'm not necessarily including in my service, but it's just being more equipped to know and I guess develop the fine motor skills in my fingers and my hands to know what sort of things feel like. Because I'm very hands-on. Like, I actually learn quite well through my hands. And when I've understood through body types and things like that, it makes so much sense.
Mm.
Because if I can pick up something kinesthetically, I'm going to remember it and become really good at it quite quickly.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I think helping people through some of the mindset stuff, so some of the stress management techniques, that's been really transformative in a lot of ways, because people are holding on to stuff literally, so excess body fat, because there's something that's caused in their system that they haven't realized has actually caused that.
Yeah.
And that's been huge. That's been awesome. It's been really cool.
So, Shaun, you're coming across today as a very inspiring person and obviously a very confident person in what you're doing today. So, how do you feel within yourself now that you've come this big, long journey?
In all honesty, these kind of conversations and these, I guess, discussions that I have with people now, I always I physically feel the fire in my belly, and it heats up. And
I love it. Keep it going.
Great,
that
Shaun.
actually, it takes me from being comfortable to uncomfortable quite quickly, but then
Yeah.
it's becoming comfortably uncomfortable. And that for me is where, I don't know, it's where this new fire or this new passion within me just comes roaring out. And it's what gets
Yeah.
me really excited. So
It's fantastic, Shaun.
Thank
It's
you,
awesome.
Shaun.
I love
I
it.
noticed that the time we've had a really good session at the moment, and I've just noticed that we're getting quite to the top of the hour now. So can I ask you, Shaun, if there was any one message that you'd ask your audience, what would it be?
This is going to be really simple. It's going to be, what is that one thing that you can do today that's going to create that forward shift in momentum, so that if you did it for a whole week, you'd be proud of yourself and you said what you were going to do and actually did it? How would that make you feel? And what would that actually do to inspire you to do more and be more?
Shaun, that is a great answer. So, Simon, tell me, what sort of insights have you got from today?
Well, just after hearing Shaun say that, I think my number one thing is to ring Shaun. I think,
Awesome.
like I said at the start of this podcast, I've been very much looking forward to today and getting a really true understanding of how Shaun actually helps people, because I think what he's been doing for a number of people has been amazing. And I've been privy to some of his clients as well. So I've been sort of asking some of the clients what sort of results he's been getting, and it's been remarkable. So, I think what you do, I think the thing I love about what you do, it's not just personal training and expecting results to just happen. It's looking at the whole body as an entire unit, and through nutrition and health and all of those other things that you do, I think that's where you really drill down and get the really true results that your clients are looking for, which is fantastic. So I really appreciate it, Shaun. And
No, thank you, Simon. I really appreciate that as well. Because, just quickly, if I could add, is a lot of the time we expect things are going to be really complex and really difficult.
yeah,
For me, it's actually about simplifying things and making it, people realize that it's not as hard as what they think it is. So
yeah, I think I probably fall into that category. I overthink it, I think. And whereas being a business coach, I just roll it out. It's just natural to me. But when I think of it as something that I have to do that I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, is I perhaps overthink it. And I think you've nailed that. I think that's true.
yeah, awesome. No, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate this. This is great.
What
And
did you get?
Shaun, the insights that I've got from it is your wisdom and your growth. The way that you've been able to discern, that's to find the truth in health.
Yeah.
I think you've committed yourself. You went to a low point. You saw that that was the wrong path, and then you've actually navigated a path which has actually helped you realize your full potential.
Yeah.
And you're on that path now, and I think you're growing by the minute, and you're learning more and more and more. And I think the way that you've got a big heart that you want to send out, and you want to help other people. And I think that's shines through how
Yeah.
you do things. So
I totally agree, Tony. I think he's a remarkable person, and I'm so glad that we've had him on our show today. And and I suppose for someone like Shaun, I mean, for other guests that we've had on the show, Tony, that they've appreciated the box of favourites, but I think for Shaun, I think we're dealing with the wrong person here, my friend.
Who are you going to give it to then?
Well, I'm just going to have to sit here and eat them myself, I think. So
as long as it's within moderation, we can have one each.
Well, yeah, something like that. But no, look, I really appreciate you coming on our show, Shaun, and I think you've been able to not only help myself and Tony today with some of your insights. I think there's many people out there in cyberspace that are going to be listening to this podcast, and you're going to be able to help them through as well. So thank you, and congratulations on your success as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tony and Simon. It's once again, it's people like you guys that help people like myself just really flourish. And it's not so much just flourishing in really crappy soil. It's looking at the soil, and it's being able to plant those seeds and knowing how to grow in that manner. Because if you look after the fertile soil, it just becomes, a place where people can just flourish and grow. And I think this is exactly that. It's people like yourselves just able to help people at levels that, they quite probably don't understand. But at the same time, it's just awesome to have people like you doing the work that you guys do. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shaun. And our mission is really just to raise awareness of the issues, and I think it's having guests like your good self and telling us stories and that inspire other people. I think that's so important. And Simon and I, we love doing these shows, don't we? I reckon we could do one every day. Maybe that's what we should be doing too. We love doing these, and we're going to have another Let's Chat, aren't we, Simon? And we'll make an announcement soon. But on that note, I'd like to wish everybody goodbye, and 100% health for everybody. Look after yourself. Well-being is so important. That's financially everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, and bye-bye.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Shaun.
Thanks, guys.